Imagine a world where the food on your plate isn't just grown, it's engineered, patented, and controlled by a handful of billionaires. In 2025, as climate chaos grips farmlands and populations swell toward 10 billion, bioengineered crops promise salvation: drought-proof wheat, pest-resistant corn, nutrient-packed rice. But beneath the green revolution lies a darker game. Bill Gates, with his $10 billion farmland empire and CRISPR crusades, isn't just feeding the world, he's rewriting its DNA. From Peter Thiel's synthetic biology bets to Bayer's GMO patent stranglehold, these tycoons are weaponizing agriculture. Patents lock farmers into endless seed cycles, supply chains bend to corporate whims, and food security. It's the ultimate leverage. For Luxalize viewers chasing elite fortunes and futuristic frontiers, this isn't farming, it's the next trillion-dollar battlefield. Are bioengineered crops humanity's lifeline or billionaires' golden handcuffs? Let's dig in. The rise of bioengineered crops, from lab to field bioengineering, isn't sci-fi, it's here. Genetic tools like CRISPR-Cas9, a molecular scissors discovered in 2012, let scientists snip, tweak, and paste DNA with precision. Unlike old-school GMOs transgenic crops inserting foreign genes, CRISPR edits existing ones, creating non-GMO hybrids that dodge regulations but pack the same punch. In 2025, the global agricultural biotech market hits $212 billion, up 7.1% from last year, driven by gene-edited wheat-resisting fungi and fortified rice combating vitamin shortages. Key players: the Big Four Bayer post-Monsanto merger, Corteva-DuPont spin-off, Syngenta Chemkina owned, and BASF controls 60% of seeds and 75% of GMO patents. They've engineered herbicide-tolerant soy 90 of U.S. crop and Bt corn insect killing via bacterial genes, slashing pesticide use 37% since 1996 while boosting yields 22%. But it's the new wave. CRISPR-edited drought-resistant maize from Pivot Bio Gates-backed fixes nitrogen naturally, cutting fertilizer needs 40%. Or join Bio's Bayer Ginkgo GV microbe tweaks for corn, promising 20% more output. For food security, it's a boon. Golden rice, engineered with daffodil genes for beta-carotene, could avert 500,000 blindness cases yearly in Asia. Yet, adoption lags. Only 190 million hectares of GM crops in 2024, mostly in the U.S., Brazil, and Argentina. Why? Patents. Bayer holds 1,500 plus on CRISPR plants, from broccoli to barley, blurring natural traits with inventions. Farmers can't save seeds. They're locked in annual buys, costing $100 plus per acre. Billionaires at the helm: Gates, Thiel, and the food empire builders enter the ultra-rich. Bill Gates, via the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, has sunk $6 billion into ag biotech since 2000, championing CRISPR for resilient crops in Africa. His 269,000-acre U.S. farmland largest private owner grows GMO soy and corn. But the real play: Pivot Bio, where microbes replace chemical fertilizers, slashing emissions 45% and netting $430 million in 2024 funding. Gates calls it life-saving, but critics see control. His foundation partners with Bayer for Africa, pushing patented seeds amid 2025's Sahel droughts. Peter Thiel, PayPal co-founder, bets via Founders Fund on Ginkgo Bioworks, $100 million for designer microbes engineering drought gold wheat. Thiel's portfolio includes bolt thread spider silk from yeast and Synthego CRISPR kits, eyeing $1 trillion symbio by 2030. Eric Schmidt, Google ex-CEO, funnels via innovation endeavors into Zymergen, tweaking bacteria for crop-boosting enzymes. Together, they've poured $12.4 billion into Symbio since 2019, disrupting food with lab-grown flavors and carbon-sequestering soil bugs. Jeff Bezos, Amazon's AWS, powers AI crop breeding. His 420,000-acre ranch tests gene-edited beef. These aren't hobbies, it's strategy. Gates' 2023 book, How to Avoid a Climate Disaster, touts biocrops for net zero farming, but his farmland buys up 20% post-COVID scream consolidation. By 2025, billionaires own 2% of U.S. cropland, but influence 40% via investments. As Gates tweeted in February 2023, CRISPR revolutionized health. Now it's agriculture's turn. Patents. The invisible chains on your plate. Patents are the silent weapon. Pre-1980, plants weren't patentable, seeds were nature's gift. But the U.S. Supreme Court's Diamond v. Chakrabarty 1980 greenlit life forms, exploding GMO filings. Today, Bayer-Corteva duo owns 80% of U.S. GMO seed patents, per 2025 USPTO data. Corteva's CRISPR monopoly covers any cell, seed, or plant with edited traits natural or not, locking broccoli to sunflowers. The fallout? Farmers sue or go broke. Monsanto's Bayer technology use agreement bans seed saving. Violators face $100,000 fines. In 2024, 1,200 plus U.S. lawsuits targeted seed piracy. Globally, 75% of seeds are patented, per ETC Group, up from 10% in 1996. This biopiracy hits poor nations. Gates' African Green Revolution Alliance pushes patented hybrids, displacing indigenous varieties and sparking 2025 Malawi riots over sterile seeds. Control cascades. Patents extend to microbes. Ginkgo's 300 plus on nitrogen fixers and traits drought resistance. By 2030, McKinsey predicts $1 trillion market, but 90% profits to top firms. Critics like Vandana Shiva call it seed slavery. Billionaires own the code of life, dictating food prices and access. The weaponization, food as leverage in global wars. Biocrops aren't neutral, they're tools of power. In the U.S. China trade war, CRISPR soy U.S. export, 80% GM became a pawn. Beijing's 2018 tariffs spiked prices 30%, hurting American farmers. Gates' Ethiopia push 2024 visit promotes climate-smart hybrids, but locals decry dependency. Gates' seeds fail without his fertilizers, per 2025 farmer protests. Weaponized how? Patents enable Terminator tech, sterile seeds forcing repurchases, echoing Kissinger's 1974 quip, "Who controls food controls people." In Africa, Gates' $1 billion agro-initiative boosted yields 30% but tripled debt via patented inputs. Synbio's next, lab-grown fake meat. Gates invests $200 million in Beyond Meat or appeal-coated produce. CRISPR fungi for shelf life, patented to sideline small farms. Geopolitics amps it. Russia's 2022 Ukraine invasion spiked wheat prices 50%. Biocrops could secure supplies, but at what cost? 2025 ex-posts rage. Gates' CRISPR equals population control via food, for example, at shadow phase of viral threat on Ethiopia. Conspiracy or caution? Reports like Greenpeace's deep deception warn of Synbio monocrops eroding biodiversity, mirroring GMO soy's Amazon deforestation. Food security, savior or squeezing the poor? Proponents hail biocrops for security. CRISPR rice averts 500,000 blindness cases yearly. Drought maize feeds 100 million more by 2030. Gates Foundation claims 30% yield hikes in Africa, combating hunger for 800 million malnourished. But skeptics counter, biotech hasn't ended. Hunger yields plateaued post-1990s GM boom, per UNData. Patents price out smallholders in India. 2024 farmer suicides hit 10,000 amid Monsanto debt. Monocrops amplify risks. One blight, for example, 2010 Ugandan banana wilt wipes billions. Chatter echoes, Gates' Ethiopia push equals GMO takeover for control at Ethiosalam. The squeeze, 60% global seeds controlled by firms. By 2030, 80% if patents expand. Poor nations lose sovereignty. Africa's 2025 CRISPR trials. Gates funded mandate buybacks, echoing colonial cash crops. Environmental double-edged sword, greenwashing the genome. Biocrops tout sustainability. BT corn cuts pesticides 37%. Nitrogen fixing microbes slash emissions 45%. Pivot Bio's 2025 launch sequesters 1 million tons CO2 yearly. Flip side, herbicide-tolerant crops spiked glyphosate use 15-fold since 1996, breeding superweeds. CRISPR non-GM status evades scrutiny. EU's 2025 deregulation risks untested leaks. Biodiversity? GM soy covers 80% Argentina's pampas, deforesting 10 million hectares. Gates' regenerative push? His farmland grows industrial corn, not diverse organics. Long-term? Unknowns abound. Gene flow to wild plants, antibiotic resistance from markers. 2025 Nature study warns, Synbio monocultures equals fragility bomb. The future, feasts for few or food for all. By 2030, ag biotech hits $300 billion. CRISPR crops 50% of U.S. fields. Gates eyes synthetic biology for all microbe-fertilized fields, lab-grown staples. Thiel's bets AI-bred superfoods for Mars colonies. Dystopia? Patents entrench inequality, small farms vanish, billionaires dictate diets. Utopia? Engineered abundance ends hunger, sequesters carbon. X debates rage, CRISPR equals salvation vs. Gates eugenics via fork. Regulation? EU's 2025 CRISPR opt-out. US fast tracks. The fork in the road, democratize tech or corporate feast. Ending, the ultimate power play. Bioengineered crops, billionaires' benevolent breakthrough or gilded guillotine. Gates' CRISPR dreams feed billions, but patents chain farmers to corporate gold. From Himalayan rees to Himalayan hunger, control the code, control the calorie. Luxalize uncovers the elite's endgame where seeds sow fortunes and futures. Will you bite or boycott? Like if this feast fascinates, comment your verdict, subscribe for more billionaire blueprints on tomorrow's table.